Lagos Assembly passes bill to regulate activities of land speculators, popularly known as Omonile, in the state. Lagos State House of Assembly passes regulation to claim 30% revenue accruable to Nigeria Postal Service through 50 naira stamp duty deduction by commercial banks. Plus, a bill to establish the Lagos State Sports Trust Fund scales second reading on the floor of the State House of Assembly. Welcome to Lagos Parliament, a program that brings the state legislature closer to you. I am Ambola Agbebi. As usual, I'll be giving you a breakdown of activities regarding the Lagos State House of Assembly as it continues its business of lawmaking. Please sit back and enjoy. A 45-year-old mother of four has cried out to the Lagos State House of Assembly, pleading for its intervention in an alleged forceful takeover of a landed property belonging to her and her late husband. The woman, who was received by the majority leader of the House and some other lawmakers, also alleged threats to her life by some land speculators.
Something that I saw there is a police signboard. They wrote in that signboard, beware of military zone. In that police signboard, and the same plot of land they have already built in all. They were pursuing me with Omonile. They were pursuing me with OPC. They want to give me and my husband and my children. As it stands now, my children don't go to school. We are homeless. Because the one that my husband has already paid has expired. This is my husband, Pastor Chinedu Okoli. Omonile killed him because of the 6 plot of land. So that they give him and take over and take the land. And that's my children. I want them to return my land for me. But I want justice. I want justice. Let them return my land for me.
We'll be able to look into your complaint and we'll see how government can intervene. Where if the government can actually intervene, or will give you necessary advice, at least to address the issue. Okay?
Now, hard times await land speculators, popularly known as Omonile and Ajagungbale in Lagos State, as a bill to curb their activities scaled through the legislative process on the floor of the House. The bill, titled "The Bill for a Law to Prohibit Forcible Entry and Occupation of Landed Properties in Lagos State," awaits the signature of the governor, having scaled through third reading on the floor of the House.
A law to prohibit forceful entry and occupation of landed properties, violent and fraudulent conducts in relation to landed properties in Lagos State and for connected purposes. Opinion of stakeholders and participants at the meeting commended the sponsors of the bill and the Lagos State House of Assembly for their legislative acumen, proactivity, and forthrightness. They unanimously agreed with the intendants of the bill and called for its quick passage.
Those in favor say aye. Those against nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk, please do the needful by sending the clean copy to His Excellence for his accent.
From the point of view of one being the chairman of Commerce and Industry, land and land-related issues have been central to the issue of ensuring that businesses move the way they should move. So now that that law is in place, I am sure a lot of people who have been involved in these nefarious activities will think twice before they go into it.
Before now, the Ajagungbales has made life unbearable and miserable for Lagosians, especially the investors. I can tell you wholeheartedly that for now, it's going to solve a lot of problems.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has come up with a regulation to enable the state government claim 30% revenue accruable to the Nigeria Postal Service through 50 naira stamp duty deduction by commercial banks. One of the objectives of this initiative, as presented by the Chairman House Committee on Finance, is to empower the state government to assess its entitlement of at least 30% monthly deduction by the Nigeria Postal Service.
On behalf of Chairman House Committee on Finance, I laid a report on ratification of stamp duty isolate. At this junction, it is important to state that the reason for the approval of these regulations is to enable the state to access its entitled at least 30% of the about 160 billion naira monthly being generated by Nigerian Postal Services on stamp duties act from the 50 naira deduction on every electronic transactions on individual and corporate banks accounts. Hence, the approval by the House will provide legal backing in the event of litigation.
The import of this particular regulation is to bring on board electronic stamp duty. I think in our regional law, stamp must be present on the document, but to bring in the electronic stamp duty aspect of it. So I want to commend the committee once again. However, there's item 18 in the recommendation, which says delete completely the side note of section 11 and insert prescription of use stamp. I think what that section was trying to say is that where you will not need to use a postage stamp. So I would like the chairman of the committee to just explain why we are changing it to prescription of use stamp rather than maintaining the prohibition of the postage.
Mr. Speaker and my colleague, we all appreciate the fact that in Lagos today, you must use all the legal means to get what is accrued to the state. If you look at the act that borders on stamp duty, it was expressly stated in section 4, subsection 2, that state governments shall collect duties in respect of instruments executed between persons or individuals at such a rate be imposed or charged at 160 billion generated between January and June this year. And when we multiply that by 2, we are talking about 320 billion. And if Lagos is just collecting or have access to just 30% of that, Mr. Speaker, that is 96 billion naira. That means more money to the state.
Now to other stories. A bill for a law to provide for the establishment of the Lagos State Sports Trust Fund and for connected purposes has just scaled through second reading on the floor of the State House of Assembly. The 24-section bill, according to the Chairman House Committee on Youth and Sport, is envisaged to raise funds and to expend such funds on sports developments in the state.
Before me right now is a bill for a law to provide the establishment of the Lagos State Sports Trust Fund and a board of trustees to manage the funds and for connected purposes. This very lengthy bill that has a 24-section bill is proposed to take care of sports development within the state. The intendment of this bill is to raise funds, manage funds, and expend such funds for the purposes of developing sports. The sporting activities within the state and also the sports facilities within the state. A very pertinent importance of this bill is that youths can be empowered with this trust fund, reducing the crime participation by youths at large. Like the saying goes, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So with this bill, passed into law, it will create opportunities for sporting development within the youth and at grassroots level. A very pertinent part of the bill, part of the board, is the appointment of the Executive Secretary of the Sports Trust Fund by the governor, and to include persons of repute within the sports community.
This bill, with the creation of a sports fund, will push sporting activity towards more nearer professionalism than as we stand today. When you are referring to laws within this law, Section 21, power to make regulations, the laws of Lagos State were all reviewed in 2015, so be conscious of it. There is no 2002 current law, it will be 2015. And finally, on the repeal, here you are repealing the State Sports Council law and the Sports Endowment Fund edit. I am suspecting that it is the edit alone you want to repeal, not the council law, because that has to do with the commission. Thank you very much.
To me, I can see we are missing it up. We have two bills before us. We have this trust fund and we have the commission bill, sports commission bill. So we are missing both together. The intent of this bill we are talking about is to generate fund to support sporting activities, as I earlier said. But my own fear about this is that the provisions we have here is not enough. The scope is so limited. I wonder how we can generate the fund we are talking about. The bill is to, what do we call it, the existing law, to repeal the existing law on the same purpose, because the law has not performed. Those saddled with the responsibilities have not been able to come up with reasonable funds. So we should look for avenue to make money, a source that we bring in money continuously to the purse of sport fund. We are saying the government will give fund grants, then we look forward to donations. So what if the donation is not forthcoming? Then that will be the end of the bill. If nobody is contributing to the purse, that will be the end of the bill. But we should be able to attach it to something that will bring about that fund we are looking for. We have sport facilities all around Lagos. People are making use of it. So what do they pay? And what they pay, where does it go? So these are the areas I think the chairman should address during the public hearing and during the report's compilation, and also to look at it side by side with the commission bill, because they have so many similarities. And the commission bill is taking away the properties of the Sports Council. The commission is taking away the properties of the Sports Council to the commission, and why the Sports Council still exists under the trust fund. I think we need to look at this critically and balance it before we take position. I agree that we must do something about sport in Lagos State. We must come up with facilities that will help our youth. I'm sure everybody loves sports. I also enjoy sports, but we must do something meaningful, something that will make impact, not just passing a bill that will not achieve anything. So maybe we allocate part of our taxes and attach it to this, or I don't know. But with what I have here, we only have two provisions as source of contribution: the state government grants and donations. Even the composition, there is no provision for those who are well experienced in sports, be it football, boxing, any other thing. You are talking about those who belong to financial institutions, Sports Council, representative of the commission and others. So I don't think how that will help what we are trying to achieve. So, Mr. Chairman, I want you to look at this critically side by side with the Sports Commission bill and see what I'm sure you are still coming up with the commission. Maybe I will commit this to your committee and you hold on to it till we have the Sports Commission. So the bill is hereby committed to the House Committee on Youth and Sport.
Welcome to the personality interview segment of Lagos Parliament, also called My Stewardship. On the program this week, you will be meeting a lawmaker representing Ikorodu Constituency 1 in the Lagos State House of Assembly, who also happens to be the majority leader of the House, Honorable Sanai Agunbiade. Now, let me ask you this. From a classroom teacher to a rights activist, from a rights activist to a farmer, now from a farmer to a lawmaker, and now not just a lawmaker, but the majority leader of the most vibrant House of Assembly in Nigeria. Tell us, how did your journey into the lawmaking business started?
My journey to lawmaking started when I left the Nigerian Law School, and I started practicing. And some of my colleagues kept propping me up. You were student union president in LASU. You were welfare director at Ijaniki. These are communities alien to yourself, and you made impact. Now that you have graduated and you are now on your own, should you not make impact in your community, Ikorodu, which is your cradle? And that made us to come together under a group called Volunteers. And we declared into politics with the mind of contributing our quota into politics. I was a member of the Nigerian Union of Teachers when I was a teacher. I was a welfare officer of the Union of Teachers Ikorodu branch. I was at the time a member of the GFSA, Ghanaian Miss Solidarity Association. Then also, I was a member of the Campaign for Democracy. I was a member of the Campaign for Democracy, CDHR, Committee for Defense of Human Rights. So I was full of activities in Ikorodu.
All right, sir. So since you left the four walls of the classroom as a teacher, what has been your contribution to the education sector in Ikorodu, which you represent, or let's say in Lagos in general?
Each of the schools in my constituency, we pull them together, we get teachers to do questions for them, we subject all of them to the same question in this category, 3 categories, and the teachers goes to mark. At the end of the day, we bring all of them together, we announce the winner. It is always fun to do that. They go home with cash prizes, we open accounts for them, we give them things. That is kind of creating academic rivalry among the private and private and public schools.
Now let's go to your activities on the floor of the House of Assembly. Since you became a lawmaker in the House of Assembly, how many bills have you sponsored? Out of these bills, how many became law? Now talking about motions, how many motions?
Right from 2010, that was my first tenure. I sponsored the Property Protection Bill against the activities of Ajagungbale in conjunction with Honorable Bayo Oshinowo, House Committee Chairman on Land. And to God be the glory, the bill has been passed by the Assembly. Motions. I know that in my first year, in my first session in the Assembly, which is the 6th Assembly, I moved a total of 15 motions. In the second, I moved a total of 20 motions. And in this current assembly that we have spent 1 year, I have moved about 11 motions. All impactful motion. I raised the motion on the cross part of the motion that I moved on the pedestrian bridge along Ikosi, that express road along the motorways. I raised the motion on it. I raised the motion for the repair of the Mile 12 bridge, which has been done. I raised the motion on the need to save the people of Lasun from demolition of their property, which the House graciously looked into. And by today, we thank God that those houses are not demolished. I raised motion on the need to make LASU vice chancellorship a one tenure of 5 years. These are some of the motions I can remember to have made. But altogether, as I've been in the House of Assembly, I have raised over 30 motions.
Wow, those were laudable achievements, if you ask me. Now, thrice your constituents have entrusted you with their mandates in the year 2007, 2011, and 2015, respectively. Now, what have you done in return for them?
Since I've been elected now, it has been one program or the other for the empowerment of the people, not about me. I said then that continuity boosts productivity. So I continue with the empowerment for the market men and women. 100 people again, interest-free loan. It's not interest-free from the bank. The bank gives the money with interest. I pay the interest, I redistribute to market men and women. For this year alone, 1 year, about 100 people are benefiting. And the one we did again is for the artisans. Another 100 artisans, are benefiting. So we have about 200 people who are now enjoying, free interest loan. It is free to them, but it has cost to me, and I've been able to bear the cost. When we talk about that, for the young ones, I have, with records, 30 people so far, 31 people so far, with employment, with employment to this, to that, government employment and the private sector, And also about 252 students, young men and women from the constituency, not those I select. We gave slots to market men and women, religious leaders, CDAs, political leaders, to bring their wards to come to learn computer. In terms of roads, I rose to move motion on the rehabilitation of the Shagamu Road. Twice I've done that this year.
Wow. Finally, on this segment, before I let you go, I've got 2 questions for you. What should your constituents expect from you in coming years? And the second part of the question is, what should Lagosians, what should Lagos residents expect from you and the Lagos State Assembly in coming years?
My people have dignified me, and it's time for me to pay back. I will always carry them along. I always pay back and roll back what they have done for me. So, if you ask me what they should expect Iṣẹ́ Olúwa to continue. And that means Iṣẹ́ Olúwa ń tẹ̀síwájú.
Iṣẹ́ Olúwa ń tẹ̀síwájú, the work of God continues.
I'm working for God.
Yeah, it's been nice chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. We are happy that you are doing this projection for the House of Assembly and enabling people at home to know what we have been doing, which they may not know.
All right, sir. And I've been talking with the lawmaker representing Ikorodu Constituency 1 in the Lagos State House of Assembly, who also happens to be the majority leader of the House, Honorable Sanai Agunbiade. Thank you so much for coming once again.
Thank you very much.
And the program is still Lagos Parliament. Please stay with us. Meanwhile, a visit to Ikorodu Constituency 1 gave an insight into the contributions made by the lawmaker representing the people in the legislative chamber.
ọ̀nà Awólọ́wọ̀ road tẹ́lẹ̀ kò dáa rárá bọ̀ láti bí ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn a dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run ipe Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ bá wa lọ́wọ́ sí ọ̀nà yìí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ SOB Agunbíadé ipa tó kó níbi ọ̀nà yìí kì í ṣe kékeré.
Open Microsoft Word and open your last document.
Honorable Sanai Agunbiade has been a very wonderful person when it comes to the issue of grassroots development. he said he was going to bring, computer training to the people at the grassroots, and he has been doing that for the past 6 years.
Firstly, I don't know how to handle system like this, but for me coming here today to know a little thing about social networking and computer is a great privilege for me.
As a leader, majority leader in the assembly, I have listened to him and I feel proud of him, and I know, yes, ọmọ mi ni eléyìí, kì í ṣe ọmọ wọn ni eléyìí, ọmọ mi ni eléyìí. And for him to know I have the backing of the people, that is why I have decided with all my chiefs to honor him. As you want me to break the news, I was thinking I will wait till that time, but you will be the first to ask me about it. I will give you the privilege. I have given him and his wife as the Opomulero of Ikorodu Kingdom, and also his wife Yeye Opomulero of Ikorodu Kingdom. Adiakpe lori e o.
The program is still Lagos Parliament, but just before we go, and on a much lighter note, we'd like to show you a few interesting clips of some of the proceedings conducted in Yoruba language by the lawmakers, which is part of the legislature's commitment to promoting the Yoruba culture.
Owólabí Elijah ní mílíọ̀nù 8 àti ẹgbẹ̀rún 85 náírà péré tí wọ́n ná lórí ìnáwó pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ small olùdarí àti gbogbo ilé àbáyẹn máa fara mọ́ nǹkan tí olórí máa kà, èmi ò bá ní ká fi yẹn lẹ̀ ká jẹ́ kó lórí kà, nítorí pé àsìkò ó ṣe ohun tí ó dára fún wa, àti pé eyín ti fẹ́ẹ̀ kán báyìí tí mo kà yẹn náà.
That's it on the program this week. Thanks for watching. I am Abimbola Agbebi. Join us again next week. Bye for now.